Hello, prepared tubers, and welcome back to Let's Play Dragon Quest III with me, BlueAnkylo, the prepared Ankylo. Today I know what I'm doing and where I'm going, and how to get there. So, if you watched the last episode or two, you probably heard me doing a lot of rambling and chit-chatting, which is fun and all, but also lamenting that I didn't really know exactly what to do and where to go. So just to show you guys, I'm starting at Cantlin. I did mention that I probably should check the Poison Swamp, where in Dragon Quest 1 there was just a random tile that you search to get Erdrick's token, which you find by using the Love of Gwaelin and some random dude telling you the coordinates of it. Anyway, we're not going to do that in Dragon Quest 3, but I should have probably walked down or sailed past this way earlier, because there might be something down there for us to deal with. So anyway, we're going to start with that. And then there's a couple more things to do. I mentioned that I thought I'd ran out of places to go in the World of Darkness. Did you remember? Did you remember, fellas, that in Garenheim, or Garen's house, there was a grave behind the house that I said, oh, don't worry, guys, I'll come back and explore it later. I did not remember to come back and explore it later. So there's that. So that's two things. This thing is one. Look, there's a temple here. This is approximately where Erdrick's token will one day be. Where are we, fella? It's the spiritual shrine. I don't know why they have a shrine here exactly, but hey. There's no chests on this floor. I hate humans, but not Ortega. He'll be the one to defeat Zoma. So not only do we get potentially progression items, apparently the people here knew our dad, so it was a really important temple. Bella, there's two treasures here. One of which is right in the middle of the room, where you might expect it. That's the last mini-medal I needed. I once served Rubis. On that fateful day, your birthday, I called to Blue. Sorry if this sounds rude, but I've waited forever. But finally, you've arrived after all this time, and now I want you to have this rain staff, which I just happen to have. This is not where you're supposed to get the rain staff, people. You're supposed to get the rain staff over by where Rubis's tower is. Anyway, apparently she's like some fancy priestess person that works for Rubis, and when Rubis was turned to stone, and when we had our birthday and the whole game started, she's the one that called us. I don't think she got a fair shake of the leg, because I never knew about her, and she gets basically one line in the entire game. Anyway, she seems more important than she acts. So, anyway, that's it. That's all I had to do. Silver Rosary. What does that do? I don't know. Oh, also, you can actually just equip the Rain Staff now if you want. I think it probably does something in battle. That's not what I meant to do. I meant to just give it to Holly. Holly is gonna still have a cool whip, but she can try a rain staff, I don't know. Silver Rosary gives you defense, I guess, and probably some sort of personality. We're not going to really talk about personalities anymore. I think I give up on them. We're fine. Personalities are no big deal. Okay, so they're just living here in the Poison Swamp, having a great time. We are going to go, let's see. Next stop will be Alefgard Castle. So this one I did have to look up. It wasn't just me thinking about it. This was actually... Blue had no idea how to get this, because I was stumped. So, we have two of the legendary artifacts needed to create the Stones of the Rainbow Drop. We were told that Tantagel Castle holds the Stones of Sunlight. That is where it's in Dragon Quest 1, which makes sense. And we were told that it was here. When I went to the area where I thought it would be, you know, the bottom right corner, it was not there. And there was some guys like, oh, I had a dream, I left the stones here, but I didn't do it. So where could they be in this castle? Well, I mean, you know, if you noticed it when you were first here, or have noticed where they could be since I've walked into the castle, I'll tell you, you could have deciphered it just from the time I was in this castle if you paid very close attention. Classic blind Ankylo, blind Let's Player. I didn't think about this. It is pretty well hidden, though. So, did you notice that there's this little hidey hole corner here in the kitchen? This is the kitchen, she says. And I'm sure I came in here, checked the barrels, learned it was the kitchen, and then left. Well, there's this little hidey hole with a new floor, which means we couldn't have thief-nosed it out until we found that little hidey hole. So pretty good secret, right? Anyway, we get a couple presents. A little bit of money and agility seed. And the sunstone. So that's the final artifact required to get to Zoma's castle. Hey, if you missed it, don't feel bad on yourself. I've beaten this game before, this translation even, and I still didn't think of it. So, you got me good. Alright, let's buff up my agility a little bit for fun. That was a +3, good enough. And let's get out of here. Can I just... I don't know if you can outside out of a castle. Of course not. So, okay. That's 2 stops done. Where to next, guys? Well, let's go to Garen's Grave first. We'll just speed along, because the monsters will probably all be relatively easy. Garen's Grave, or I guess it's not his grave yet. It's just Garen's place. It's close by, close enough, and it should be a fairly easy dungeon. I have been probably more scared of whatever they're calling Erdrick's Tome in this game than maybe I should be. I also went the wrong way, so I apologize. But, it's the no magic cave, which was scaring me. And I think I had it mixed up with, there's 2 things. The part that we're supposed to do right now, we can do already, and we could have done earlier. But there's sort of a phase 2 for that tomb for later. In the post-game, spoiler alert. So maybe after we killed Zoma, maybe we'll have to go back there. And I'll explain that more when we explore it. But I had them sort of conflated in my head. I thought there was nothing to do there until we killed Zoma. That is not correct. Anyway, I did show you this a few episodes. Is this all there is? I thought... Maybe I was wrong. No, I had it mixed up. I still have these areas all mixed up in my head. There is no dungeon here. The one dungeon... There's only one possible... Man, Blue is... I opened the episode by saying I know what I'm doing and where I'm going. Well, 60%, 66% of the time. Maybe 3/4 of the time. So, Iron Claws... And he threw it on the ground. It's been a long time since we got to throw it on the ground. Anyway, I guess that was a fail. Big fat fail for this Ankylo. Okay. We have the legendary artifacts. Can you guess what magic special item might be in this cave? Let's heal up before we go in, because there is no healing. Wow, I'm pretty much healthy already. So having those... One thing that does... Sorry to ramble again. One thing that makes doing this dungeon easier now is the life rings and light armor. The regeneration will be quite valuable because you can't cast magic. But before we go in there, we could cast Repel and Tiptoe. And at least for as long as those last, we'll have lowered encounters, maybe. So we can get a good start in this dungeon without a ton of random battles. And I don't think it's actually very long, to be honest. It was 2 floors in the original game with 0 encounters because Dragon Quest 1 was nice. Now, it was also very dark, so you're bumping into walls, but it's fine. But yeah, the monsters in here are pretty strong. Like, there's a reason why I wasn't rushing to come back. I wonder if you can... I actually don't know if you can use magic items. Like, I'm not sure if item magic is blocked or just casting magic. Sure, they can breathe fire for 100 damage. Okay, it looks like you actually can use magic items. So that's something I wasn't sure about. If I'd known that you could Sage's Staff in here, I probably would have come here earlier. Because that was what I was worried about, was just getting into a couple really strong battles, not being able to heal, and getting sort of run down, basically. Now, we can't really menu heal unless we bought a ton of medical herbs. But, can we at least Thieves' Nose? It was neutral. You can't even use your nose. Alright, so we got one more floor, I think. It is a little bit deeper. And, like, these guys, these enemies are very strange, very strong. There's no ability to buff in here. We basically just probably want the sages pretty much just focused on healing Fella because he doesn't regenerate at all. And it might have been smarter to switch over to a different weapon even. Now, to be fair, we could still use some magic in the form of, hey, yeah, I've got a King's Sword. I can use it on you. I think I'm going to try to rush these guys down a little bit. I bet you they have enough defense that the Falcon Blade is probably not the best way to do these battles. I don't know. That was not much more damage than the Flamerang, to be honest. But let's take this dungeon seriously, right? There we go. We got the troll dealt with. Oh, well, that was easy. Not so bad at all. It's just, you know, it puts me out of my comfort zone. I'm nervous. All right, here we go. Spooky black tiles. So, the reason we should do this dungeon by now is to get killed by mimics. Yay. At least we have lots of people with Vivify. It's not nearly as bad. I can't buy kill. We just try to kill it. Fella, you missed. Oh, maybe it can't magic either. Ha 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 ha. Ah, the mimic can't even cast magic. Alright, it's all good. I feel way better now. Mimics can't even kill us. But yeah, the reason we came here... Hey, an extra mini medal, so now I've got even a spare over what I needed. Also, let's just super speed this, because, you know, it's going to take a while. Yeah, I'm just going to keep attacking. I was thinking of changing our primary weapons, but it's fine. I was thinking of Falcon Blading it. Final treasure! The Hero Shield! There you go. That's why I was not buying a shield, because I knew we could find this somewhere useful. So, Blue finally gets his ultimate shield. I'm probably going to keep the heal shield, because it's his free healing item, for now anyway. The Hero Shield, I think it protects against Dragon Breath, but so does your armor, so it doesn't really stack. It's just sort of, they both do the same thing. Whichever one you get first provides breath protection. And yeah, in case you're wondering, of course, only the hero can use it. Now, you might be looking at this pit thinking, that's suspicious. I guess we're not allowed in that pit. That's what I was confusing this dungeon with. So, later, if I continue playing into the later, we may be able to jump in that pit and do another dungeon that's even more dangerous. And that's what I was thinking this dungeon was going to be, because it's scary. Like, I'm not sure we're strong enough to go there right now. Like, probably not even close. We have the heal all spell. That helps, assuming the magic works. But, you know, we can't even get out of this dungeon quickly. We have to walk all the way out. We can't just teleport like cool guys. I guess we're just lucky that the life ring works, to be honest. Anyway, we got our hero shield. That's what I really wanted to get. Blue has got... Well, let's actually have a look after this battle. Let's have a look at our total defense stats. Let's see how Blue is just stacking up against the other characters. Everyone's got pretty much their final gear now. Pretty much. This Hydra... Maybe I should focus the Hydras down before the Trolls. So how are we looking here? Blue has got 324, 217. Definitely, you know, the Thief unfortunately doesn't have the strongest of weapons and strength. So you can definitely see a bit of a gap there in attack power. But Fella's agility has kept him in the lead for defense, which is pretty awesome. The girls have around 200 defense, which isn't bad. It's almost as much as the hero, thanks to especially that light dress. Yeah, it's pretty good. The only sort of downside in terms of levels is we're missing some stats, and essentially we're missing some very good spells. We have no AoE healing spells, and we're missing the best late game attack magic. Not like I use it very much, but there are still some better offensive spells to get. BlueAnkylo does actually learn the strongest offensive magic in the game, interestingly enough. But that's a little ways off. Yeah, I think it's like level 40 something. Well, that wasn't even that bad. The top 2 floors have relatively low encounter rates. Alright, we're fine. I was more worried about that dungeon than I should have been. Okay, well, before we go turn in all of our legendary artifacts, there's a couple places I'd like to show off. So, do you remember, I think it was last episode, or maybe a couple back, there was this dancer that told us, like, hey, you should go tell my troop about me, and I was joking, psh, why would I do that? I could just transport you back here if I cared. Well, I guess it's only nighttime you can do. Remember this side quest to go talk to these people? Is it a side quest? I don't know. Find out. Let's use that day-night spell for the first time ever. So, yeah, I found Lena. She's in the underworld. Yeah, I met Lena. Oh, she's one of my dancers. I've been worried sick about her. Where'd you see her? Oh, no, I better not ask. She's a free agent. It's great to hear she's doing well. Here, have some item. Did you guys know you could get a free magic bikini off this guy? I once had a dream about opening a theater in the East. He still wants to open that theater. Alright, so we got a magic bikini. It's amazing. It's actually not that bad on defense. I don't think it provides very much status protection. If it does, it would be better than the water dress. But the main reason I equipped it was, hey look, a new sprite for Daubry. I didn't want to have to spend all the money on the revealing swimsuit or whatever they called it. But essentially you can get the custom bikini sprite. The 16-bit glory of a sage, and I guess you could probably get it on any class that's a female. A sage wearing a bikini into battle. It's hilarious. Thank you, Japan. Thank you. Anyway, I'll hold on to it for now, but clearly we're going to want... Honestly, I should just equip the water dress. I really... Unless I can find another piece of equipment that gives us magic and breath protection... I don't think that the defense for these things really is going to make them any better. Like the dragon robe is, you know, maybe 15 less damage per hit. But we can use the defense spell to get around that. We can't really handle those 100, 200 damage, 100, 150 damage breath attacks, which we might have to run into soon. Okay, so that was, I think, the final, like, secret treasure in the overworld. I don't think I've missed anything else. I've skimmed some of the guides a little bit, and I mean, there's probably a mini medal here or a Pachisi ticket there, but you know, for the most part, we've done pretty much everything. And we did manage to get enough mini medals to get at least the last item. I don't really care about the Pachisi ticket because it doesn't really matter. That's the gold pass. But I would like to get more magic armor. Maybe this is better than the magic bikini, because it's a sacred bikini. So, the sacred bikini, all the bikinis, it actually has more defense, I believe, than even that previous bikini. We've got all the bikinis now. This one still changes your sprite, so in case you're wondering, you can definitely still get that instead. It makes the magic bikini kind of a waste, to be honest. Now, I suppose I'll have to look it up. I'm pretty sure what this does is it's another HP regeneration item. So I could give the life ring to Fella now, lose his agility, and then Daubry or Holly, whichever one, could regenerate from the sacred bikini and the other life ring. And basically that would give everyone in the party regeneration. I'm not sure how I'm going to gear up our final party. I still think for the most part magic and breath protection is better than a little bit of defense. And to be fair, like the sacred bikini does have better defense even than this robe I was wearing. But if it doesn't have any kind of breath protection, then we're actually going to take a lot more damage from random encounters anyway. Because the only encounters that really give us a hard time are the ones with high level magic or breath. Just random attacks. Well, I mean, to be fair, what was it? Like, there was those stone titans, like the giant statues. They hit pretty hard physically, but they're kind of the rarity. Most enemies don't hit too hard physically, whereas the magic breath is, if they can cast spells, it always does. Like, there's a lot of enemies that can do strong magic, especially at the end of the game. Anyway, I think that was the end of my backtracking. What I'll do today, you know, we're not probably gonna have enough time to get to, there's my ship, but we'll super speed it. We're probably not gonna have enough time to get to Zoma's castle. I'm gonna go for it. I wish I wasn't fighting so many other enemies, but I don't think they're gonna hit too hard. Come on, Metabel. 2 damage. Oh, he didn't run. This is good. 0. So we're still at 2, 3, 4. Look at those falcon blades. Yes! It was worth it. One thing I was going to say, and I guess I sort of spoiled it, I actually was thinking of hanging out around Rimeldar to fight some metal baubles. Maybe off camera. I hadn't decided yet. Because I was thinking I'd like to get a few levels up before next episode where we really go after Zoma's castle. Because honestly, as much as maybe it has looked, I kind of know what you guys think, but I feel like it may have looked like we're raffle stomping the enemies more than we need. But we were supposed to be at this level 30, when we fought Baramos. Now we've done an entire new world and set of dungeons. We're going into the final dungeon to fight an even stronger final boss. And I haven't even gotten past level 30 yet for the sages. So I'm a little bit concerned about that. Anyway, metal babbles are really good for XP. Level ups are really good at the... You know, as our levels get higher, and I think that's the truth for the sages as well. As we get past level 30, I'm pretty sure the sages will start getting some kind of insane stat growth. Well, I say insane. I just mean, you know, stronger than you'd expect from a cleric or a wizard. Like, they are stat characters. They're not just fragile mages with no physical prowess. They are the best of most things, except for equipment, and I guess they're kind of jack of all trades, but they really do learn every spell in the game, and they get good agility, stamina, strength. So, I guess, like, their only downside is they're kind of a slow starter. It's hard to turn into a sage. And it's a slow experience crawl to get them at high enough level to really be useful. Anyway, there are metal babbles around Rimeldar, so it's not very difficult to grind it out. I could even use the silver harp or the whistle spell to just have a battle every turn. And I think I might be doing a little bit of grinding. Like, I guess it's hard to say, because on one hand, maybe we're strong enough. I did kill Baramos at a very low level, but, like, barely. Remember that fight against Baramos? It was pretty awesome. Like, I appreciate the epicness of the fight, but on the other hand, I would rather not be that close for Zoma, because Zoma... Now, I am playing the remake. The Super Nintendo remake's probably not going to be as scary, but the NES Zoma... I have quit not Let's Plays, but I have quit playthroughs on that boss before, especially when I was younger. I would get all the way to Zoma, I don't know what level I was, 40 or 50 or something. I would get all the way to Zoma, do all the grinding, get all the gear, maybe not have quite as good understanding of the equipment in the original NES version with no guides and no help and just being younger. And just not be able to kill him. And trying a few times, going through a really long dungeon because there's no save states, and dying on the boss a couple times, and just getting frustrated and never playing the game again. So I have had some really bad times with Zoma, and I don't want to do it on camera. Now it's time for sunshine and rain to come together. You know, I didn't really use the rain staff much, but it's fine. I don't think we're missing out on any important opportunities here. But we've got a rainbow drop. And yeah, I do think I will save that for next episode. So I think we're basically done. I don't think there's anything else you can do except go to Zoma's castle. Unless I missed the Sage Stone. And I forget where it is. It's probably in Zoma's castle. I might look it up just because I'm not sure you can kill Zoma without the Sage's Stone, to be honest. In fact, before I forget, this doesn't need to be in our inventory. But when we get to Zoma, we actually do need one item in the bag to be in our inventory. Someone has to use it, and it might even need to be blue. I'm not sure. It's kind of like the end of Final Fantasy IV with the crystal fighting, whatever they called him, whatever, Zeramis, I guess. Except in that game, it was completely impossible to win without using the crystal. In this game, it's technically possible, but also terrible. So we definitely want to have that light orb ready to go. So anyway, I was thinking probably what I'll do for the next... I don't plan on spending hours, but the next period of time, I think I will spend a little bit getting a few levels up. I don't think I would go all the way to level 40 on the Sages. I might sort of try to look up when we learn some good spells. But with the ability to Falcon Blade Metabol's down, and honestly, if I got a little bit more money, we could have 4 Falcon Swords, which could do... Well, we didn't kill it anyway, but... Because it doesn't matter how strong Daubry or Holly are, having 2 attacks each would just make it easier to kill a Metabol. Stupid Metabols. And I could basically buy a 3rd Falcon Blade right now, maybe more if I sold some stuff. So that's probably what I'll do. You know what? Let's use the Rainbow Drop while we're on camera, just for fun. And then I won't feel bad about wandering around there looking for enemies to grind on. But yeah, we're pretty much at the end game, and I think it's fair to do a little bit of leveling up, even if it's against my Let's Play policy. It's not really, like, you know. These guys look scary. How about some Firebolt on the Skullgons? Pretty good, 100 damage. Worked on them all. Better than the Flamerang. There you go. I used some magic, everybody. And you got to see Fella get a level 35. He is still getting a lot of really good stats. Like, I wish I knew what to do with him. I feel like most of his value for most of the game was spells and boomerangs. But as we get closer to the final boss, things like the ability to use Flamerangs just don't matter much when we're fighting Zoma. But we'll keep him as the thief. I'm not gonna mess that up. Oh, I will. Yeah, did you notice with the Flaming Breath that Fella and Daubry took 100 damage, whereas Holly and Blue took much, much less? I am sorely tempted to just stick with the water dress here, even though it's 40 defense less. I don't think the magic bikini has much of a chance, unless it turns out it has breath protection. Anyway, let's rainbow drop it, at the very least. Let's see if it's got a cool animation. I mean, it's rainbowy. We made a rainbow bridge. Don't fall off it. Alright, let's call that an episode here. Like I said, I'm going to spend some time getting a few levels up. Basically, I know there's some good spells. One of the things I would really like to have... So remember, I keep talking about how Vivify works, I think, half the time. There is a improved spell, Revive, or whatever they call it, that works all of the time. And it costs more MP, but I kind of think it's mandatory for Zoma because people are probably going to die. And if your Sage fails to heal someone, or fails to revive someone, then he'll probably just kill someone else next turn, and you'll be game overed. So I think you need a guaranteed revive. Having a couple Yggdrasil leaves is nice, but having the revive spell would be good. There is a group healing spell that we don't have, which would be nice for a pinch. And technically, although I forget what level, Blue, the hero, does learn Heal Us All, which is very expensive, but it heals the whole party to max. And it's essentially at that point where I feel comfortable fighting Zoma. When I don't have the ability to heal the whole party and revive people for sure, I'm worried. And I don't know how many levels that's going to take. So I want to at least get closer. And I'll just give you a recap next episode about what I did. So I'll kill some metal slimes, or liquid metal slimes. And I think I'll aim for sages at 35 and see what happens. Maybe blue to 40, give or take, sages to 35. That's not too much grinding. And hopefully I get lucky and kill some liquid metal slimes quick. Alright, another episode done. We've pretty much wrapped up. I will also double check the guys to see if there's any hidden items or armors we can pick up. But I think I'm done, except for Zoma. So yeah, that's it for now. Thanks for watching, folks. I hope you have enjoyed. And I'll see you next time for the... Well, maybe not the conclusion, but at the very least, the final dungeon next episode. I'll see you there.